Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. So today I wanted to talk to you all about something. My garden is growing up. It's changing, it's maturing, and it's time to talk about the birds and the bees. Specifically, my mess of bird feeders, my empty hummingbird feeder, and my failed attempt at mason bees. So I wanted to talk to you all about the lack of the birds and bees in my garden. You know, and I'm gonna say that with a grain of salt because of course I have lots and lots of bees visiting the flowers in my garden, and I love them so much, and it's so nice to have them here. What I really wanted to talk about was my failed mason bee experiment. I will link the video down below, but basically last year I bought this mason bee house, and then I bought a box of mason bee cocoons, and I set them out for them to hatch, and then for them to hopefully pollinate my entire garden, and then make their new cocoons in the bee house. And I think they hatched. I mean, the birds could have come and gotten them, but if you can see that the mason bee house, can you guys see that? It's just this beautiful little star. There's no protected area, so I just put the box right on top of the bee house. It was left with none of the cocoons. All the cocoons were gone. So like I said, I don't know if the birds got to them or they hatched and they moved on. But basically not a single mason bee laid an egg in, or laid a cocoon in the tubes that I put out for them. So I guess it's a failure, but I'm pretty sure I did see some mason bees flying around my garden. Mason bees are so cute. I think that they're the cutest bees. They're known as the clumsiest bees because what they do is that they'll fly into a flower, and then they'll basically plop into the middle of the flower and like roll around very clumsily in the flower, and that gets the pollen all over them, and then they fly to the next flower and plop into that flower. So that's why they're called the clumsiest bees, and that is why they are so good at pollinating flowers in your garden. So mason bees didn't quite work out for me. I'm not totally sure why. I'm sure that there's lots of reasons. But Kind Bee Farms, which is based out of either Montana or Canada, I think kind of both, they contacted me to see if I wanted to try leafcutter bees this year. And I thought, yes, absolutely. So leafcutter bees are similar to mason bees in that they are solitary bees. Now, honeybees that live in the hives, those bees have to protect their hives. They have to protect the rest of their colony. So sometimes they can be a little bit aggressive. Solitary bees don't have to protect anything like that. So they're much kinder, they're much sweeter. Mason bees are known for being kind, and leafcutter bees are known for being kind as well. And leafcutter bees, just like mason bees, are extremely good at pollinating flowers because they basically have a fuzzy tummy on the bottom of their belly. Their belly is very fuzzy, and so all the pollen basically sticks to it, and then as they fly to the next flower, the fuzzy tummy actually releases the pollen onto the next flower, so they cross-pollinate all the flowers, which is wonderful, as opposed to a honeybee that I think they have a fuzzy tummy, but it's also sticky. So when they get into the flower and they get the pollen on their sticky tummy, and then they go to the next flower, the pollen doesn't really come off because it sticks to their tummy, so they go back to their hive and they're basically keeping all the pollen for themselves, which is great, but that's why leafcutter bees are supposed to be so good. So anyway, Kind Bee Farms kindly sent me out their pollinator kit that includes bees. I'm going to take you all inside and show you all what they sent me. So here's what I got in the mail from Kind Bee Farms. Such a cute little box. You open it up and the first thing you see are the leafcutter cocoons. It says, "We are resting. Gently tear off the cover. Kindly place us in the loft. Work will begin soon." And what they say is that you can leave this inside and wait till about 1 to 5 of the cocoons hatch, just so you can see it. Say you're doing it with your kids or your grandkids. It'll be something fun to see. Or you can put it right into the loft of this cute bee house. I just love this thing. I think it is so cute. It's made out of acacia wood, and it's gonna go right next to my mason bee star. I'm just gonna leave that mason bee star there because I like how it looks, and maybe some type of bee will find it sometime. But basically this is what I wanted to show you all today, is I wanted to show you all this kit. If you all were interested in, you know, getting into bees yourself, leafcutter bees might be a really good option for you because they are so kind. They're not supposed to sting. They said, Kind Bee Farms said, unless you like hold them in your hand, unless a kid holds them in his hand, they'll let you know that they don't like that. So I assume, you know, you really have to bother them to get them to sting you. Otherwise, they're very sweet and they're very kind. And like I said, they're fantastic pollinators. So they do sell replacement tubes and replacement bees for every year if you want to do that, or you can kind of just wait and see if anybody naturally shows up at your garden. But I just love this. I thought it was so cute. It's a family-owned company. I think it's the wife of the company, Lane. She contacted me and it just seemed like such a cute, sweet company. And I wanted to show you all. So this is what I'm going to do today for my bees. This is my next trial into getting some solitary bees into my garden. Now, let me take you outside and give you guys another look at my bird feeders. They are a mess and I definitely need to fix those today as well. Okay, coming out here to the backyard. Do you all remember me showing you my beautiful swan floaties that I had in the pool? They died already. I swear, my kids and their friends are so rough on pool floaties. We have to buy like 4 or 5 new ones every year because they keep popping. Anyway, so here are my bird feeders that I have right here. The honeysuckle is actually kind of taking over this year. It's growing a lot. So I have to come through and I have to kind of prune it back just so that we can see the bird feeders a little bit better. But down here, this is my limelight hydrangea that's doing so well. Down here, I have this complete mess. I mean, holy moly, it is just a mess. That is a bowl back there, and I don't know why it's back there. So look at all these weed seeds. And I've actually come out here and tried to pull them out as well. And there's just so many of them. And I was watching the birds as they were out here. And I could see that they were like kicking off all the bird seed like that, right? And, you know, I talked to you all about it, I think during my back garden tour, one of my back garden tours, and a ton of you said to me, you got the wrong bird seed. I think you're right. So this is just what Home Depot had or Walmart had or something. Just this whatever stuff. Apparently it's just not what birds like. So all those light seeds right there, those are apparently millet seeds, and they're used as more like filler, right? And what the birds really want is they want these black sunflower seeds, or I don't know, some other stuff, basically not that stuff. So a lot of you said to me, go to Wild Birds Unlimited, which is a bird store, I guess. I've actually never been there. And then to get the no mess bird seed, which it's so funny because I always thought the no mess bird seed meant that there was like no shells around the seeds. And it was like, well, who cares? Because they could still knock it over and then I would still have weeds anyway because the seeds were coming off. Well, no, what I didn't think about it is if it didn't have any shells around the seeds, they would never germinate. So then you would have, maybe the birds would knock over some of the seeds, but they would never actually germinate into weeds. So that's my plan for today. I'm going to clean all these out and then I'm actually going to go to the Wild Birds Unlimited store. I want to take you all along because I've never been there. I've never seen that place. There's one in Sacramento, which is just the next city over from me. So I wanted to take you guys there just so that we could see what they have. Then coming over here, this is where I keep my hummingbird feeders, and I am having trouble keeping this one full. You can see it's totally empty right now. And I think that that's just because they've gotten used to the bird feeder here. They know it's a source of food for them, and I think I need to get a second one. So I figured I can probably get that at the Wild Birds Unlimited store, I'm sure. And then I'll fill both of those up. I will clean up this area and I will put in the no mess bird seed over there. And then I will also set up my Kind Bee Farm leafcutter bee house. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with the bee house first because I feel like it's the easiest thing. I wanted to show you all, this is the pamphlet that came with the box and lots of good information about bees. And then this is from David and Lane, the owners of the Kind Bee Farm. So very easy instructions. First thing it says is find the perfect spot for your bee home. Near your plants and flowers, yes. And then it says spill free, look for a place where the home is not likely to be knocked over by pets or animals outside. So I am planning just to put it right up, right next to the star mason bee house. I think that's the perfect spot. It also says above the waist to prevent moisture and ground critters. And then not move it, commit to a spot. And then it also says you want morning sun and away from any sprinklers. So this fence is facing the east, so perfect morning sun. And then it's not gonna get any sprinklers or anything like that because we use drip over here. Then it says you can start it inside or outside. So this is what I was talking about. You can set it inside. It's going to take a little bit longer for the cocoons to hatch, but then you can allow either yourself or the kids to see it. So this is for hatching inside. I'm going to go straight from moving the bees in, hatching outside. And so it says cut the stickers on the side of your cocoon box, remove the top lid of the box, place the cocoon box in the bee loft, and then you're done. So really easy. It does say if hatching begins outside, it takes approximately 1 to 6 weeks to see your first bees hatch. So 1 to 6 weeks, they did say it depends on your temperature. And you do want your temperature to be at least 75 degrees Fahrenheit for the cocoons to start hatching. We are around 85 right now, so I feel like I'm gonna be closer to the 1 week to get them to hatch rather the 6 weeks to get them to hatch. Okay, so I'm just gonna hang the bee house up and then I'll put the cocoons in. All right, here they are. Gonna go in the loft. So the shape of this house is supposed to protect them from rain and then also from predators. So I'm excited. I will keep you all updated on my new leaf cutter bees. Okay, we are here. I never even knew that this place was here. Let's go in and see what they have. All right, I am all done at Wild Birds Unlimited. It was very quiet in there. So I felt a little awkward filming, and I didn't want to get anybody else on film. So I didn't get much footage actually in the store, but I'm out of the store. The employee who worked there, the worker there, she was incredibly knowledgeable. She answered basically every question I had for her, which was awesome. So I told her my issue about having weeds underneath the bird feeder, and she said, yes, that's a very common thing. So she went and she showed me the no mess bird seed, which is what you all recommended. And then she said, you know, I told her that I thought that it was the millet in the bird seed, the cheap bird seed that I had bought before. And she said, it's only millet if there's excessive amounts of millet, but actually if you have doves, the doves do enjoy eating that millet. So you do have to have a little bit of millet if you do have doves. And we do have doves, and I want to feed my doves. She said that she doesn't have doves at her house, so she actually goes for the shelled sunflower seeds for no mess, and her birds really, really like that. I ended up going with the no mess sunflower seeds just to feed the doves. So I got a 20-pound bag of that. I think that's what they said, 20 gallon, 20 pounds, something like that. I got the big bag. I also gave them my email address and, you know, my mailing address. I could get coupons and all that fun stuff. So yes, I'm a bird lady now, along with a crazy plant lady, and that's okay. I'm proud of it. So in there, I also found this stuff. This is an algicide for fountains, which I had a feeling, I thought I knew that there was something like this, but when I saw it and I saw that they sold it, and I asked her about it, if it was safe and everything, she said absolutely. So what this does, you put this in your bird fountain and it keeps it from getting algae. And I have been having so many issues with that because I clean my bird bath and it gets dirty literally the next day or like a couple days later. So I think this will really help me. She said, don't use this if you have fish in there. I don't have any fish in there, so it shouldn't be a problem. So I'm really excited to see how this does. I will keep you all updated with that. Then I got this. So this is kind of the same type of stuff, except for it's for the mold in your hummingbird feeders. So hummingbird feeders will kind of get moldy inside and you have to clean them out and scrub them. And she said that if you add this to the nectar, this will increase the amount of time that you have before you need to clean it out. It won't totally prevent it, but say you start getting mold after like 3 days, this should let you go to about 2 weeks. So I was super happy to find that, because that is something that I do deal with, except for usually the hummingbirds eat it all before it's even an issue, but it still does get mold. So it'd just be nice to not deal with it, deal with the mold. Then impulse purchase, I couldn't help myself. It was so pretty. They had all these really beautiful hummingbird feeders and I had to get one. I just think it's so pretty. It's so beautiful. I was asking her if there were certain hummingbird feeders that were better than others, you know, like red ones or glass ones or something like that. And what she said was, it doesn't matter. Get the bird feeder that you like looking at, because the hummingbirds will be attracted to anything that's colorful. And once they find the food, they will come back and they will keep getting the food. So find something that you find beautiful, which I love that. I think that that's so sweet and so cute. And I found that one very beautiful. So I'm excited about it. All right. So I am going to head home now. Hopefully there's not too much traffic heading home, and then weed underneath those bird feeders, replace my bird seed with the good stuff, and then fill up my hummingbird feeders. All right, let's go. All right, and back at home, I think I'm gonna start off with weeding. I won't put you guys through watching me weed this because I don't think it's gonna be very interesting, but we will say before and after. Isn't that amazing? It's almost like I didn't work an hour pulling weeds. So I did not get all of the weeds. I got as many as I could. And then I had one bag of mulch left. I'm gonna have to go buy more. But you can see that's how far one bag of mulch gets. It should lighten up to match the rest of the mulch. A couple of you have asked me, does this mulch fade? Yes, it does, unfortunately, but I still really like it. So then I did cut back some of the honeysuckle, so that looks a lot better. And then I took down the third bird feeder, and then I hung up these two, and you can see what the no mess bird seed looks like. So hopefully the birds find this and hopefully they like it and enjoy it. And I am going to be watching to see if I get as many weeds as I did last time. Unfortunately, the lamium had to go with the weeds. The weeds were all mixed into the lamium. So I think I'm gonna come another day, not today, and pull this lamium because it doesn't really look good anyway. So I still am on the search for a good ground cover underneath my honeysuckle and underneath my limelight hydrangeas right there that is going to be a weed suppressor. That is really, really what I want. So this is the bird seed that I got. I ended up picking from Wild Birds Unlimited, the No Mess blend. It has sunflower chips in it, millet, and peanuts, like peanut chunks. So this, I ended up getting the 20-pound bag. Unfortunately, this was not cheap. I think this was $50, which is crazy, but a lot of you said that it was absolutely worth it. So I figured I would try it and see how it does. I'll keep you all updated on the expensive bird seed for my birds. All right, so the last thing that I want to do today, I have my hummingbird feeder that needs to be cleaned out and needs to be replenished. I already made some hummingbird food inside and it's cooling off. I do 1 part sugar, just plain white sugar, mixed with 4 parts water, heat it up, and then let it cool down. And they seem to love that. So I'm gonna hang up my new hummingbird feeder right there as well. And then I don't even wanna show you all this because it's disgusting. This is going to be for tomorrow. So I will try that new algicide. First, I'm going to clean this out. Then I'm going to try the new algicide tomorrow. So I think I'm saying that right. Algicide. So that's my plan for tomorrow. And I'm really excited to see how it does because, man, I think I just cleaned this out like maybe 10 days ago. And then I got really frustrated because as it's getting hotter, the algae is just coming back super, super quick. So I need to do something about it. And hopefully this algicide will work. So anyway, hummingbird feeders before and after. All right, so I cleaned out this one and I filled it with more nectar. I hung my new one that I think is so pretty. It is from the brand Parasol. And the girl at Wild Birds Unlimited said that she really likes this brand. It's Parasol. And then I did put that hummingbird food mold protector. Hold on, let me show you guys. This stuff, Nectar Defender. So like I said, like I was telling you guys before, this is the stuff that is supposed to keep that mold out of the hummingbird feeders. So we will see how it does. And then let me show you, Jeffrey, come here. Come here. What are you doing? Are you crazy? Yes, you are a crazy boy. And you are a crazy boy. All right, everyone, so that is gonna be it for today. I've got my birds and my bees all taken care of. I've got my kitten purring in my hands and I have my girls in the pool. I think I'm gonna go enjoy the pool with them. So I hope you all enjoyed this and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.